Good evening, everyone. This is Nicholas Ellis. Tonight, I am going to talk to you about Asperger's advocacy and Asperger's advocacy groups out in public. Tonight, I'd like to focus on. I would like to talk about Asperger's advocacy in the workplace. I really think we need to focus on Asperger's advocacy out in public. Um, Through Facebook groups, through raising awareness out in the public. There needs to be more awareness. It seems like people don't understand us that well, but I think with education and awareness about Asperger's, more people can learn about us. Like our social interactions, like how we take stuff so literally and stuff, and how people can respond to us in a better way, in more of a polite manner and more of a respectful manner. This is one thing I want to get out there. Um, I respect everybody. I respect everybody's opinion. Um, I'm here for anybody if you want to talk. I will put an email link below, or even my Facebook group links if you want to join my Asperger support group on Facebook. Um, we are here to raise awareness. I'm here to raise awareness. I got friends all over the world that have Asperger's syndrome, and we need to raise more awareness for like jobs and stuff like that too. What are some of your goals? What are some of your things you can do or things you can tell people? How do you disclose your Asperger's or your disability at work? And I know some people may feel discriminated against if they disclose their disability at work, disclosing your Asperger's at work. Um, I know sometimes people will ask me at work, um, well, uh, uh, they tell you to speak up and ask questions, but then when you ask questions, they get upset with you. Um, is there some way we can work on that with employers? Is there a different way we can work on that with maybe you're going to college? Maybe there's something we can do to work on that. If anybody has any ideas, comment below. We need to figure this out. Um, Careers for people with Asperger's. Um, um, Going to college for people with Asperger's. Rights as an individual for Asperger's. I mean, we can focus on all these, but let's just stay focused on what we're doing now, raising awareness. But let's try to raise more awareness, how we are and stuff. I mean, all of us with Asperger's have feelings. I mean, obviously we do. Um, that's just how we are. We're human beings. Neurotypicals have feelings, but it seems like people think us people with Asperger's don't have feelings. We have feelings, but we express ourselves differently. We like uh, like at my grandma's funeral, we the guy there told me that I had to wear a mask, so I was a little bit upset about it. But and I even showed him my doctor's note, but he didn't seem to understand, or nor did he seem to care. I'm not saying he's not a bad person. I mean, that's each company has a right to say that you have to wear a mask or you don't have to wear a mask. Um, if somebody, I mean, I know they're supposed to accommodate people with disabilities, which is nice. I mean, nothing against businesses that don't. I mean, I understand their theory. I understand why COVID-19 is bad. Um, but it would be nice if there was more advocacy out in public. I mean, if somebody comes up and criticizes you because you're not wearing a mask, let's just say I would just say you could tell them you got Asperger's, or if you got a doctor's note, show them your doctor's note. I show people my doctor's note all the time. I mean, I had someone come up to me one time and ask me, do you know you should be wearing a face mask with your face shield? And I told them I had a doctor's note. Do you want to see it? And they're like, no, I don't really want to see your doctor's note. So pretty much you can just solve it like that. You can just tell them, you want to see my doctor's note? I mean, that's totally up to you if you want to disclose the doctor's note to your employer or to somebody out in public asking you. I mean, if that's something you want to do, you can. And it's just personal opinion. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, it's up to you if you want to disclose that information. Um, like sensory issues at work. Maybe the fluorescent lights are hard on you and cause you to get headaches and migraines. That's a possibility. I get a lot of migraines, but I think it has to do with my diet and drinking too much coffee, consuming too much caffeine, which isn't a bad thing. Caffeine doesn't hurt you, but caffeine can increase your anxiety. But I'm not a doctor, so I'm going to put this out there right now. I'm going to get a drink of water right here, right now. Um, I'm going to put this out there right now that when you disclose your disability, do it nicely. Be polite about it. As long as you're polite with people, you'll get a long ways better. If you're demanding to people, you won't get very far. But just be polite to people. If just be polite. Say please and thank you. I mean, if you're asking your manager, maybe you're going to a restaurant and be polite. Be polite with the waiter or manager there if they ask you why you're not wearing a mask or a face, or show them your doctor's note. Most of the time, public venues make exceptions, and that's good. I mean, just be respectful, be polite, and you'll get a you'll get. I mean, it's amazing when you're polite to somebody how far that goes. Wow, this guy was polite. I mean, if you're really polite, they may make more better exceptions. They may be more receptive to answering your questions. But if you go on there and demand stuff, like you have to let me, you have to accommodate this. No, that's not the right way to go about it. Just remember to be polite, be nice. I mean, if you work in customer service, there's always that theory in customer service that the customer's always right. Yes, it's true. Um, if you're working with customer service, just remember, I mean, don't confront a customer if they're not wearing a mask. You know, just be polite with them. Being polite goes a long way. Being polite will make you look great. I mean, a couple of years ago when I was working at my previous employer, at the previous employer we called customers guests, and I got a good compliment that I did a great job on my customer service, and it made me sound good. It made me feel good inside. Remember, when you're polite, it increases the sales of the organization. When you're polite and have a smile on your face, I mean, you don't have to smile 24/7. But let's just go back to the job situation scenario again. We're going to talk about the job situation scenario. If you work in the public, retail, or any form of customer service, you're going to have to be polite. I mean, if I come in looking for, let's say, Brayburn apples in the produce department at some local grocery store, I come in and I talk to John Smith in produce, and he's rude to me. Um, doesn't isn't that gonna say about the image of the corporation or the image of the company? Remember, when you're working for a company, you are essentially their image for the company. You, you you're not getting paid to socialize with other coworkers and stuff like that. I mean, I know sometimes we do socialize at work. Granted, there are many social interactions at work, but we go to work to get things done in an ordinary in a efficient way. We need to get tasks done. I know sometimes people with Asperger's, we may be a little bit slower at getting tasks done at work. But just remember, if you have problems with the job, just write the tasks down. Some companies, they will use it will come right up on an app what you got to do today. Just be honest. At the end of the day, what did you accomplish today? Well, I got the Brayburn apples out today. I got the scallion onions out, which are green onions. Some people call them scallion onions. I got the bananas out today in a sufficient time, in efficient time. Or I got the, maybe you work in the grocery department and you got 2 pallets of grocery out on the shelf. Remember, it's not all about efficiency. It's about neatness too. Like, you can't just put about a bunch of boxes of cereal and just toss them on the shelf. That that's not the right way to do it. When a company talks about efficiency, they're meaning they want you to get stuff done in a certain time period, but they also want it to look neat too. Neatness is key. Neatness is key to anything in life. I mean, and we just got to make sure that, tell your boss or supervisor that you have Asperger's. Most people know about the autism spectrum. Most people have knowledge about autism spectrum. Most people are really accepting when you tell them, "Oh, I didn't know you had that, Nicholas. Is there anything I can do to help you more? Is there anything I can do to better communicate with you?" Communicate your needs with your supervisor. Communicate your needs with management. Communicate your needs with your spouse or your wife or your significant other. Communicate your needs with, let's say you're in high school. Communicate your needs to your teacher. If you can't communicate your needs, the first thing is communication. Let's get that right. If you can verbally communicate, I know there's some people with autism that can't, and uh, I have a great respect for them. We need to help everybody. But if you can communicate, uh, ask all the questions you want. Write the questions down. Well, let's say you're in school and I need help with a test. Ask the teacher if you can take the tests like in a quiet place, like in the library. That's what I did when I was in high school. Worked great. Um, Maybe you're starting your first job. Maybe ask your supervisor, well, how do you want this stuff done? Just don't go at it alone. Ask questions. I mean, just don't assume like let's say this pen, you're stocking this pen on the shelf. Just don't assume it goes over by in the grocery department. Most likely it doesn't. This would probably go on the general merchandise aisle. The pen would. But I mean, just try to work with people. Try to be open. I mean, I know it's hard for us individuals with autism and Asperger's to be open with people. It's hard to communicate. Or if you feel better communicating with somebody via text message or email, do that. Maybe write your manager a note at the end of the day. Well, I accomplished this, this, and this. I mean, but make sure you're at work when you're doing it, or you're at school when you're doing it. Don't do it off time. Um, there are some employers that don't like that when you message the managers when you're not at work. Most companies, it's really not acceptable to be doing stuff off the time clock. And I would say that's probably similar in other countries too. Um, but we need to be aware, and we need to be aware of our surroundings. And if you take that into account, let's say you're learning how to drive. It took me till I was 18 to learn how to drive. That's not a bad thing. It took me 10 years to learn how to drive here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. That's got a population of like 60,000 people. I mean, to reduce fear and anxiety, to reduce fear, start things out slowly. It may take you 10 years to accomplish something. But hey, if you accomplish it, you did a great job. Um, I know 8, 9 years ago, I never thought I could drive in a big city. I can now. It just, you gotta tackle those fears. You gotta overcome those fears. I know it's harder for some people, but it, and it actually comes with a good feeling to it, a feeling of sense of I accomplished something. I accomplished something great. I mean, if you, that's cool. I mean, if you can drive, I know not all people with Asperger's can drive, and I totally understand your situation. Me, I wouldn't want to drive in Chicago. I mean, a couple of years back, I drove to Duluth, Minnesota, and it was okay driving up there. It was not much different than driving here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. I mean, but not everybody can drive. I mean, but remember when you are driving, don't be looking at your cell phone. Buckle up, follow the traffic laws. Um, just because I know if a cop pulls you over, stay calm. Just stay calm. I've got pulled over a few times in the past, and I just stay calm, stay in your seat, stay in your car, and a majority of the time when you get pulled over, you'll be fine. If you're not speeding, be honest. If the police officer asks you, "Can I see your driver's license and ID?" Give them your driver's license and ID. Um, don't just stay there. Don't just stay in the car. You don't get out of the car. You stay in the car. That's how that works. Don't be nervous. Or I mean, if you're a little nervous, you could tell them you're on the autism spectrum, and they may understand. Yeah, most people are understanding of that. But like I said, I've got pulled over in the past, and it didn't turn out to be a big deal. Um, I think I was heading home from I don't know. It was a summer night, and I was heading home from. I think I was heading home from. It would be at my time at my girlfriend's house when I was dating my wife. She was my girlfriend at the time. I was heading home back to my folks. A cop pulled me over, and he said a light was out, and well, actually, frankly, I was glad he pulled me over because I wouldn't have known that light was out. And he just gave me a warning, and he said it's fine. Just make sure you get it fixed. He was actually really polite. Most of them, 99.99% of the time, they're polite. And if you're polite with them, they'll be polite with you. Don't be anxious. I I was a little anxious too. Yes, that's that's just because we're humans. I mean, even anybody's going to be anxious in a situation like that. Or if you're in a situation out in public, let's go back to that situation, the scenario if you get pulled over. Um, Sometimes it happens. Just remain calm. If the police officer, him or her, asks you for your ID or driver's license, you give them your driver's license and ID. And usually, and if you were speeding, be honest. Well, I was going 10 to 15 miles an hour over. Be honest. You don't have to be nervous. You don't have to be nervous. I know you may be a little bit more nervous if you have Asperger's. I mean, I was nervous too when I got pulled over the first time. But the key is, if you tell them about your autism spectrum disorder, they will understand. Most people in those professions are trained for that. And that's a good thing. I mean, I know plenty of people that work in plenty of professions that know a lot about it. There's more awareness than there was 27 years ago when I was diagnosed in December of '94. There was not too much awareness back then, but now there is a bunch of awareness. People understand about it. But the key here, what I want to get more into is raising more awareness. What can we do as individuals to form like more social groups and stuff? What can we do as individuals to try to find more friends out in the community? What can we do as individuals to help more people with autism spectrum, helping more of the ones that are more that don't have the resources like we do? What can we do to help them? What can we do to advocate for them? What can I do for you as a friend so I can advocate for you? I mean, if you got a question and you want me to help you out, sure, I'll help you out. I mean, just text me or email me, send me an email me. I mean, if you need, I mean, I've given people rides to places. I mean, I've done a lot of good things in my life. I mean, I've count me in. That's how I am. That's how I was raised. I was always. I mean, even when I worked at my previous employer in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. I mean, I gave coworkers rides home all the time. It shows, and it shows that we got empathy. When we do good things like that, it shows we got empathy. Don't be nervous. If like one time there was a coworker Pam, she was probably about 60 years old. I gave her a ride home. I gave a coworker by the name of Robert a ride home. I mean, I gave a coworker by the name of Ben a ride home. I'm not giving last names because I don't want to get the identity out. But those are just examples. Or maybe you gave Johnny a ride home because it was 25 below zero outside. I mean, I wouldn't want to walk home in that. I mean, that is the empathetic side of us. And people say, well, we don't have empathy. Well, we do have empathy. Me giving that person a ride home so they didn't have to walk home in the cold, that was me showing empathy and sympathy. I mean, yes, we do have empathy. That that was me showing them, you know, this Nicholas Ellis, he's a pretty cool guy after all. He's pretty fun to be around. He's he's awesome. He gave me a ride home, and it just, I mean, it shows we care. I mean, I know not everybody's comfortable giving people a ride home, and that's fine. That's not. You don't have to do it. Even the small things, it shows that we care for other individuals. I mean, and these are all neurotypical people, good people. I still know them. I still talk to them. I don't talk to them much anymore, but if I run into them, I'll say hi, hello, how are you doing? I mean, some of these people I've known for 10, 12 years. They're good people. I mean, and if there's another person with a disability, I mean, if they want to give you a hug, that's up to you. Let them give you a hug. I've had several other people with disabilities give me a hug. I just let them hug me. I just, at the end of the day, it's about having a good, positive attitude. It's about helping others out. That's what my passion is to help others out that have Asperger's and disabilities and stuff. Not every job, not every job will be accommodating with people with disabilities. And you actually don't have to disclose your disability to people that you work with. That's if you only want to. Nobody says that I have to go in Tuesday morning or Monday morning and say I got to disclose that to my employer. You don't have to disclose anything if you don't want to. I mean, if you're feeling dizzy and stuff, yeah, I would disclose that to your employer. If you're feeling dizzy and feeling sick, and you feel like you could fall off a ladder at work, yeah, you better disclose that to your employer when you get to work. It does not look good if you didn't disclose that. And it shows them that you taken the initiative to do it, to tell them. Oh, he told us before that, so we know if something happens. Hold on 1 minute, I'm going to be back. I am actually going to get a drink here, drink of water. Hello everyone, I am back. I do not know where I left off on, but we're going to talk more about, I don't know what I left off on. But if you feel like, let's talk about empathy for a couple more minutes. Let's look up the definition of empathy. Okay. Bear with me here for a second. Okay. Empathy is the ability to understand, share the thoughts and feelings of another person, animal or fictional character. Developing empathy is crucial for establishing relationships. This could be work relationships, this could be friendships, this could be dating relationships, This could be any relationship. Let's talk about empathy. Let's go back to the situation of taking giving coworkers a ride home from work. Yes, that's being empathetic and sympathetic. That's helping people out. It shows that us people with Asperger's, that we care and stuff. We do have emotions. We do show emotions, but we show our emotions differently. That's normal. That's pretty much normal for us to show our emotions differently. If you're an adult with Asperger's, I mean, I had some person tell me one day, one of my coworkers that we were talking about my migraines and stuff, and I I told her about. Then we started talking about sensory overload, and I told her about my autism, and I won't go into any further detail to disclose any information. But she's like, I kind of felt like there was something odd about you. I mean, I didn't take that too hard because I've had a lot of people say I'm kind of odd and awkward. Yeah, I mean, I'm maybe kind of awkward, whatever, I guess. But at the end of the day, you got it out, and she was actually nicer to me after I told her that. She told me that she happened to know somebody else who had autism spectrum disorder, and yeah, she seems to work very well with me now. Seems to understand a little bit more. Sometimes it's just little small situations like that that can it tells people that you can be open with them, you can be honest, and that is being honest. I mean, what can I do as an individual? What can I do as an individual to help you out? What can I add to this video to make it more, I guess, more fun to watch? What can I do to improve my videos? Now I want to focus on that, people, my friends. Let's focus on, comment below what I can add to these videos, or what topics you want me to add to these videos. That's what I want to talk about. If you think you want me to talk about relationships and dating, let's talk about that. If you want me to talk about job interviewing, let's do a series of job interviews, of how to do job interviews. We can do that. If you want me to talk about if anybody wants to do an interview with me, let's do that. I mean, there's endless possibilities when it comes to. Give me some suggestions below what I can do for future videos. Because, I mean, I can sit here all day. I can sit here for about an hour and a half and talk, which is good. It's not a good thing or a bad thing, but it's just kind of how I am. If you can come up with topics to maybe kind of help me, I mean, I I enjoy doing this. I enjoy advocating for you guys and helping you guys out. I mean, I happen to have autism myself, Asperger's, but I mean, if you got any ideas or suggestions, I'm open to ideas or suggestions. Maybe we can do a series on, like I said, job interviews, or what kind of symptoms we have, or what kind of jobs are good for people with Asperger's, or what kind of accommodations we can talk about if you go to college. I went to a technical college actually I graduated 14 years ago. Actually it was 15 years ago. 2000, I think I graduated in 2006, fall of 2006, from the office assistant program. So that was a good experience. They were very accommodating with people with disabilities. They had a resource place there where you could take tests and stuff, take your exams and stuff. I mean, I've read in the news that there have been people with Asperger's that have went to school to be lawyers. I have heard stuff on the news that there's a politician out in Pennsylvania that has autism spectrum disorder. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I mean, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. I mean, I know not everybody wants to go to college, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not doing my job right now, what I went to school for. I mean, me personally, I'd rather work in retail. I've done retail since 2007, so, and it's basically all I know. I've tried other jobs before, like working for like a courier job. Yeah, and the company was a good company. They were accommodative and they were good to work for, but I kind of found out I really don't want to drive around and stuff all day. I mean, I mean, I like to drive, but I'd rather drive alone just to kind of calm my anxiety. And sometimes it does calm anxiety, but during the winter, it really doesn't help my anxiety and stuff. But I mean, if you feel like you want to talk to me, I'm gonna put my email below. I'm gonna put some links below to my Asperger's groups that you can join. Um, I know I drink a lot of water because I'm actually not used to doing impromptu speeches like this. I guess you could call it. An impromptu speech would be. Let me explain it for you, because I know people will have questions. Let me check on my phone for a second here. Um, Sorry about that, everyone. An impromptu speech is a speech that you have to make without much or any time to prepare. So basically, what I'm doing right now is I I did not prepare for anything I talked about tonight. I pretty much just went on what's in my mind. What can I do to help you out? Maybe we can focus on more of a structured, because I kind of wonder sometimes if I talk about too many topics in the video and it gets confusing. If it gets confusing, let me know. I want to work on that for you guys. From my friends with autism and even neurotypicals. I mean, I mean, I don't know if you find my lectures boring. I mean, I try to explain stuff as best as I can. I mean, if you have any questions, just like I said, I'm going to put a link below. If I get the opportunity to put a link below tonight, if my computer doesn't freeze up, I hope it doesn't freeze up. But I got a couple minutes here, and I'm probably going to go off. I mean, did anybody watch the Super Bowl this weekend, or is anybody into any sports? Comment below if you're in any if you're into any sports or follow sports teams and stuff. Um, just kind of curious what you all think about sports. I'm not really into sports. Hey, that's fine. And your hobby may be keeping track of football scores. Hey, that's cool too. Your hobby may be history. It's really up to the individual what your hobby is. I mean, you may like history. You may like skiing in the winter. I used to ski years ago too. But um, I'm going to get going here. If you like my video, click subscribe. hit like, hit subscribe, and you can share it with others too. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night. This is Nicholas Ellis with Asperger's Awareness, signing off.